Yep, CJ Ferry. I'm gonna put that video right up there. Share screen. Nope.
So you know what I say? Right there.
Oh, come on.
Okay?
Tell us how you really feel, Chip.
Hey, listen, I got a right to say that. I did the fucking job.
I know you did.
And I spent 38 years on the line, not in the office. You talk to any
Chip and
firefighter
CJ.
who was on a line.
I love
with
it.
me. When I
Wow.
was a firefighter and a lieutenant and a captain,
Yep.
I pushed the line in as far as anybody ever did. So I'm not. This isn't theoretical.
Hey, I didn't swear
This is
on this one,
reality.
so this is not
Don't give me
mine.
that horse shit. That nobody gives a shit about firefighters because police,
Yeah.
everybody worries about because nobody thinks
No, I
that
agree
they'll
with
never have a
CJ.
crime. Everybody thinks they could get their house broken into, or they could get mugged, or
All
they
the
could
corruption
get
going
attacked.
on. Wow.
Or they
A
could get
resolution
shot
was
at.
filed.
In 38 years, I never went to a fire and had the owner of that property
Wow.
tell me,
A
something? I
resolution
knew
was
my house was
filed
going to
by
burn down
Christopher
today.
Peckham and Cliff Ponte.
That's
Wow.
why the firefighter is the orphan of public safety. We're always the
police
ones that
department.
are on demand because they go, oh shit, I'm not going to have a fire. Let them cut the fire department, Manning. Police, you get a murder. Oh, more cops. And justifiably so. But don't give me that shit, okay? Now you're hitting a nerve. Because I fought for
Harvard Media is
manpower.
live
And when I
with
left, we
Spindle
still
City
had
Straight Talk.
255 guys, cut down from 300 against my fighting, because Shea decided to fill the complement like we had 300 with overtime, and I told him, ultimately, you're not going to have enough money to pay overtime, and you're going to cut the manpower. And look where we are today.
Yeah, I
What do
was
they got
just
on the
coming
job
out
now?
of Dunkin'
200.
Donuts, and the news reporters
So
were
don't give me
down
that
at
shit.
the
I
Fall River Police
watched too
Department
many
and everything,
firefighters
talking
die.
about
I
all
buried
the
5
corruption that's
firefighters
going on down there.
while I was on the job.
This is
for
crazy.
Fall River, and I went to funerals all over the country. I went to the Vendome funeral when they lost 12 in Boston. I went to Worcester when they lost 8, I believe, or 9. We had 3 busloads of firefighters gone. We marched in a lot of processions. So don't forgive me if I'm shocking everybody with the truth, but I'm telling you the way somebody who fought fires in this city knows, who has been called you lazy bastards. All you do is sit in a chair in front of the station with the
Man, these fire departments.
And when I'm crawling down a
people
hole
don't
at 2
sit in a
o'clock in
chair.
the morning, and it's so goddamn hot in there, the hair in my ears is burning. They're sleeping.
Yeah.
They're sleeping. So forgive me if I don't have any.
No apologies necessary. No apologies necessary.
It's okay, Chip.
I mean, that's it. I'm just, nothing, politics, and not you personally, just the general thing. This is, this is what bothers me about politics. It's like they're always in front of a camera, but they're not there when you need them. Like veterans. Where was our delegation to give veterans housing preference? And 2 of them were veterans. They weren't
They
there.
voted no.
So forgive me if I don't have a hell of a lot of use for politicians, because
And then right after that vote, they walked in a Veterans Day parade. Imagine
that's
that.
right. That's right.
And 2 of them did it in uniform.
That's right. And you know, but like I said, to get back to Paul Coogan, he's making a promise. Now let's see what the city council does to make him keep the promise. They've already let him go a year without calling for a test.
That's right.
They've let him go more than a year without calling for a change in government.
That's right.
So it's time for the city council to step up and threaten them with litigation. You know, threaten them. Oh, we're not going to probably. You know, the thing is, he made promises and he doesn't keep them.
Yeah, Coogan did make a
disingenuous,
promise, and he didn't.
you know,
He didn't keep
liar.
the promise.
And you know, you think that this is going to be the beginning. Oh, everybody's, you know, oh, the city council's really taking a strong stand. Take a strong stand by telling Rumsey, shut up. You're not the Supreme Court of the United States. Your opinion is like an asshole. Everybody's got one. And I can find an opinion from a good lawyer that'll go right.
Woo!
You know, and that's the reality. The reality is that these people are, you know, Rumsey's going to fashion an opinion to support Paul Coogan because didn't he come out once and say that he worked for Coogan?
Yes, he did.
That he works for Coogan. He doesn't work for
Right.
the city of Fall River. No, he said that, and that's not true. Last time I checked, it was the city law department, wasn't it?
And it's the city that pays them. I
The
thought.
taxpayers pay him. He doesn't work
I
for
thought.
Paul. Unless Paul's paying him, you know, he might have got him some market rate housing. I don't know. Some deals.
Well, remember, Rumsey did that. He circumvented the historic designation on the convent so he can make it market rate housing against the wishes of the Historic Commission, the Preservation Society,
Wow.
and the neighbors. He did it anyways. Because you know why? Fuck you! I don't work for you!
Hey!
And you know, Linda's got a good point. He was bullying. Basically, he bullied them by saying, "Well, I'm going to do this anyway, so
Right.
we'll make a deal, but we'll make a deal."
Hey, I
that-
ain't the one that
Are you going to
swore.
make me keep? You've never made me keep my deals before. You know,
Right.
you're like Iran. You know, Coogan's like Iran. He's like the Ayatollah. That's what we're going to call him, Ayatollah Coogan now. Ayatollah. We don't have long-range missiles. They just lobbed one that could reach every capital in Europe. Right? They just lobbed one that went 25. 2,500 miles that could have reached any capital in Europe. And all of a sudden, oh, Trump was right. Oh, they don't have long-range missiles. Yes, they do. They can reach any place in Europe, and soon they'll be able to reach the United States with nukes.
That's right.
So this is the thing.
You know when they're gonna?
He's
You know
like
when
the
they're gonna react?
Ayatollah.
You know when they're gonna react? They're gonna react when long-range ICBM comes across the ocean, okay, and lands in Manhattan.
Yeah.
That's when they're gonna do it.
Then they'll say, "Oh, sorry." You know, it's like that. We didn't know. It's like, oh, there's no imminent threat. Well, I wonder where all of them, all of the rhinos and the Democrats in Congress is saying now that was saying, oh, we shouldn't have done that. There was no imminent threat. No imminent threat, all right. Now they bomb that Diego, whatever it is, and that could reach anything. London, Paris, they could reach them all, and they went, whoops. And like, there's no imminent threat. They've been killing Americans for 47 years. 47 years they've been killing Americans all over the globe, financing Hezbollah, Hamas,
Yeah.
the Houthis, everybody.
My
ISIS,
father
you name it,
been
Iran's
telling me.
been
My
back
father used to tell me
to
that
kill
when I was a
Americans. They
kid.
killed Marines in Beirut.
Oh yeah.
It's like there's no imminent threat, but everything out of their mouth is kill your debt to America, debt to Israel. Yeah, but that's it. And these people go, there's no imminent threat. You know, whether you like Trump or not, and he does say some dumb shit. There's no doubt about it. But at least he's got a set of balls.
Yeah.
He did something that no president would ever do. What did Obama do? Sent them money What did Biden do?
Nothing.
Send them money. Let
Biden sent them money, is right.
Enriching
course, yeah.
Really? I mean, this is the naivete of the Americans. Like, we're impervious because we got two oceans between us. Well, you know, they have developed long-range ballistic missiles that can reach us. And one of these days, like you said, CJ, unfortunately, if he didn't do this, we were going to get nuked. And Israel was going to get, you know, they were going to start nuking everybody. Like now, you think if they had nukes right now, if they had gotten it and gotten them ready quickly enough, they wouldn't have used them now?
Of course they would have. They wouldn't be in Israel.
They wouldn't be
in Israel.
There wouldn't be a Middle East. I mean,
That's
they're
right.
blocking everything, cut over everything. So, but I mean, but
And guess what? And guess what? There would have went your oil. There would have went your oil. You
That's
think
right.
gas prices are high now? Give the Iranians a nuclear bomb. And
Well,
then
let's go back to the-
wait till you see what you'll pay. $16, $17, $18, $19 a gallon. Remember
Well,
that.
Remember one thing, we've got an Ayatollah in Fall River, and like I said, well, he's going to probably get out early. But what he's done now, to me, I have to support the recall. When they come out with the petitions, I'm going to sign them and quickly, and try to get everybody I know, because this guy is out of control. When he basically, and oh yeah, somebody told me, I think it was a city councilor actually that I spoke to, and they said, this is what Paul's excuse was. They said that he said, I don't care what the council thinks. And she said that Paul said, I never said that. That was AI generated. Well, that wasn't AI generated, because I read it on the crawl of Channel 10.
Right.
So do you believe that Channel 10 let that go across the screen, that Paul Coogan said he does not care what the city council thinks? He lied again.
Of course, he always does.
The pathological liar, the pathological prevaricator does it again. Paul gets amnesia. Oh, I never said that. Oh, that's not what I meant to say. Oh, and this is who they're trusted with this.
And remember, if you and I quote him one word wrong, I never said that. I didn't say it that way. That's not what I meant. How many times? How many times?
Well, I think, it's like racehorses. You can make book on the racehorse. If the racehorse never finished, he's not winning a Kentucky Derby. So
that's right.
And the thing is that Paul Coogan has never ever been accurate, truthful, never been transparent, never been anything. And the council has to do a lot more. I'm sorry, I am not. I'm not thrilled with the lack of action by the council either. This is you know what this is? This is a good start. But let's see what's done now to make him get civil service. Get it down here. Therein lies the problem. There is no incentive for Paul Coogan. They have let him have a dump on them for the whole time he's been in.
It's interesting because I don't want to buy, I'm not going to buy for a moment that, well, we lost the war, or we lost the battle, but we're going to win the war.
There you go.
Okay? No. When you lose a battle with Paul, you keep losing battles with Paul.
Yeah,
there is no gamesmanship with Paul.
Bullshit. This is bull.
How many times do you got to get smacked upside the head with a 2x4 before you realize that there are rusty nails in that 2x4?
Yeah, and how much damage to the taxpayer has been done by you not holding his feet to the fire, by approving
exactly
contract after contract after contract when there is no funding. And I'm going to tell you, I'm fed up. They approve a $750 million contract, and they don't have legitimate funding sources for contracts I'm going to file a complaint for malfeasance on their part because they are our fiduciaries. I'm sick and tired of them having people in front of them like Bridget Allman saying, we're looking at some investments down the road. That's not a funding source.
That's right.
Councilors. That is not a funding source. That is a lottery ticket. That's like me saying, I'm going to pay my bill and my mortgage. I go to the bank and say, well, how are you going to pay your mortgage? Well, I'm planning on hitting a lottery. You think I'm going to get the mortgage?
I don't think you're going to get anything.
I'm going to get the boot. That's what I'm going to get. I'm going to get thrown out of the office. They're going to, what are you?
No Jab FJB on YouTube says everyone is going to need to get on board. Focus on Coogan.
That's right.
You've got to focus on Coogan. You've got to hold him accountable. Okay? And let me tell you something. Don't believe a word Nick McElhaney says. He's a liar. He only is there to protect his job.
But
that's it.
And listen, the city council, it is the city council's obligation. I can pull the case law again to say that they are responsible to look with a critical eye, and that's in the quote of the case.
They don't. Oh, it's a fire department contract. Oh, we have to prove it. We have to prove it. Oh, don't worry about the funding. We have to prove it. Oh, it's the police department contract. We have to prove it. We have to prove it. Oh, don't worry about the funding. Oh, it's EMS. We got to approve it. They get their own money. We got to approve it. We got to prove it. Oh, it's my new director of city operations. He's going to save us money. He's going to consolidate the department. Guess what? We got to approve it. We got to approve it. None of those things have happened.
Well, we got to get a superintendent that's going to write get a plan, and she never put the plan in 2 years. So, but listen, it is their job. I mean, they're not doing it, and it is at the taxpayer's expense. They have approved numerous contracts. I want to know the investments. If you can show me and I'll invite every city councilor to the meeting when the retirement board goes over Prim's investment portfolio.
Oh.
I invite you to come in and sit through an hour to an hour and a half of a breakdown to every single investment, what it's done in the previous 5 years, what it's projected to do in the next 5 years, the performance standard of everything, bar graphs, pie charts, numbers up the wazoo. That's why Prim is doing well. And we're not going to pay them to invest our money if we don't get a return. If Prim came into the retirement board and said, we're looking at investments down the road, and we say, what are the investments? They say, well, we're just looking at some. We say, well, get the F out of here. You're not working for us.
We'll pay you somewhere down the road.
Course, people.
We'll pay you somewhere down the road.
Yeah, we'll pay you. Now, one of these days, we'll pay you down the road. That's not the way it works. I'm sorry. This is bullshit.
It is.
It's bullshit.
CJ and Chip is right.
Negotiated contracts for the city 25 years. You know how many times fire and police took zero? You know how many times other city unions took zeros? Because the mayor said we can't afford it. I can't raise the tax rate anymore. Now, this is the new woke society. Fuck the taxpayer.
Hey!
You said, give them a pay raise. We got to pay them. Well, we got to break the city's bank, break their back. So now what are we going to do? We're going to give TIFs to the people who take all their money out of town that own the market rate housing. And we're going to force everybody else to sell their houses and get out of Fall River. And ultimately, we're going to be bankrupt.
That's right.
We can't do it.
And here's the kicker. Here's the kicker. In Florida, they're looking at abolishing property taxes. Abolishing them. Can you imagine for a moment if the people of Massachusetts got together and abolished excise tax, not even property taxes, just the excise taxes? Can you imagine what the cities and towns would do? They'd have a stroke.
Oh,
They would have a stroke.
Well, the state would collapse too. Everything would collapse. If Democrats can't tax and spend, they lose their, they immediately go into cardiac arrest.
I know.
Because they can't. That's the only thing they know how to do. Spend money. I want to see this budget. It was a half a billion. Let's see how much we go. Let's see what Diamond, Durkee. I mean, Jesus, how many times people on low incomes, and still, the median per capita income is like $32,000 in the city of Fall River. Do you realize if you have any ability to analyze numbers, that means that it's even lower than that? Because what happens is that the people on the higher end of the spectrum elevate that median income, but the people at the lower end, there are statistics that say we still have people in Fall River, many of them living on under $15,000 a year. I just drove down a Brayton Avenue extension and counted 9 tents in the woods as I drove by.
Well, there's the truth from Spencer
And
City
we got
Street Talk.
this like Star Wars mentality. Go into the Star Wars bar. CJ does that great impression of the music. What world are we living in? Are we living in a Tony Cadero world?
Maybe.
Because the people I know are having a hard time. These are the people that are making $30,000, $40,000 a year. You think these tax rates are palatable now? You think that spending money like this is you're doing your job, what you were elected to do, to be the stewards of our tax money and spending it wisely? You really believe that? Look at what's been done over the past. As CJ said, it's deplorable. Listen, I didn't like taking zeros. I didn't like taking zeros, believe me. But I also knew how to do math. And I knew there was nothing I could do. The city could prove it couldn't afford it. I couldn't go.
Did they hang you out the window to learn your math?
Yeah, it's like I went to the JLMC twice and won because they said they couldn't afford it and they couldn't. I took them and I proved it, and we got the contracts. But you don't win in the JLMC when the city's got no money.
That's
and
right.
Believe me, the city's going to have no money, and you're going to look back at a city that's going to go into receivership in a not too distant future because, right now we're being buoyed by illegal immigrants getting stuck in market rate housing. So, but these people get the tips. They shift everything to us. We get hammered on every side. The city council keeps passing pay raise after pay raise after pay raise after pay raise. And then they pass TIFs for all the rich people and put it on our tax rate.
That's
So, listen, I've had it. I've really had it with this. Like I said, I keep hoping I hit the Powerball so I can do two things: sue the shit out of the city and buy a house somewhere else. Because I am truly, and I grew up in a city, and I came back to this city after the military, and I had job offers in other places, and I came back to the city. But this city has changed so drastically now. I'm just disgusted. We really need to change the direction of the city, and I hope this recall gets going really, really, really picks up a lot of headwind, because we've got to send a message. We've got to send a message that we are the government, and we have to take it back. And if it's a recall,
one of the things that gets me though, okay, is that Nelson was asked if he was part of the recall on We Suck at Radio. He said no, and he admired the people who were putting together the recall, and it's their right. And the comment was made by the host. Well, that's good to see that you own up to it. And it's good to see that you're honest about it. And then the next day, he announces himself, or the committee announces him as the finance committee chair. But he had nothing to do with it. Now, he filed paperwork with the city as a political action committee so they can raise money. And on that is him and Jeff Gaudreau. But he had nothing to do with it. One of the things that is needed, and you can vouch for this, in the recall, whether it's this one, the next one, or the one after that, or previous ones, your honesty is necessary. You have to be above reproach because they will use that against you at every turn.
Yeah, well, you need credibility because they will.
Right, you've got to have that credibility.
Because they invested our voting records and everything else.
That's
they
right.
Our voting records. They said I lived in Tiverton and I was a chiropractor. Right. You know, they tried everything, but the key is that you've got to have people like, look, Josh was out there every day. He didn't hide. He didn't wear a mask. He wasn't like the Palestinian, the pro-Palestine demonstrators with masks on.
Oh boy.
You have, and you're right, Gene. It's about having people that are not afraid to show up, even on the other side. The people who were on the other side showed up, and everybody took a position, but you've got to gain credibility because you've got to be able to do what you say, and you've got to be able to project to the people and have a message that the people want to hear. And
they will believe. And one that they will believe.
And the sad part about it is I think that now this is 100 times worse.
James is watching.
Than what, this city is in 100 times worse condition than Flanagan. I've never seen anybody that has a total disregard for government or anything. He's a total dictator. He's a total liar. He's a pathetic excuse for he's not a leader, never been a leader, never will be a leader. Couldn't lead a one-man parade. And if this city ever needed to take back its government, it's now. It's now.
It's government, yeah. We got to take back our government because if
problem is, Nelson, the damage was already done. Okay? People won't listen to your retraction. They won't listen to your explanation. Okay? They're going to remember that you said it once and then switched it. Credibility is very important. No Jab FJB says Coogan is the center of all the controversies. Who cares? Focus on Coogan.
Well, that's who they have to do because that's who the recall is about.
The recall is about Coogan.
As far as that's concerned, you've got to project, the message to the people to get them on board, and
that's right.
You really, really need to be able to be very consistent, and that's the key. Yeah, well, obtaining lawyers is always problematic. I mean, if CJ and I went through, we had a fit. We could never, because number one, we didn't have any money. We didn't raise, we didn't have 2 nickels to rub together, and we went to see lawyers, and we couldn't. Well, finally, we got a guy who was willing to work, and thank heavens to him. He represented us, and he let us pay him in payments and not a lot, and
spaghetti dinners.
But it's a very look. It's not an easy proposition.
No,
and I commend anybody who wants to take it on, but you got to realize that you really got to dot your I's and cross your T's. And the sad part about it is it's really necessary. I mean, I have never seen, and I've seen a lot of politics in my life. Not only here on a state level, even at the national level. I have never seen anybody with such a total disregard for the process, for the law, for his duty as a mayor, as Paul Coogan. The guy is just he is a total waste.
Train wreck.
I'm a vice principal. I never had a press conference. I don't talk about anything. But shut up. I do everything my way. I never listen. I won't give you the armory. I won't do this. I won't do that. I'm going to give you a tax break. No, I didn't give you a tax break. Yeah, I'm going to do this. 6 years of this shit.
Mm-hmm.
And but we had no candidates running. And that's the other thing. We need really good candidates to step up. People that are willing to campaign for a year before the election. Not pull your papers 3 months. We need and I think that's another part of it. Getting really, really people who want to take back our government, because that's what it's about.
We got to.
If we don't take back the government, this is what runs it.
We have to. I mean, we got to get
We
people
got a
that's going to
government
run.
that says to us, I don't care if you want
We
to
need good
reduce
candidates. We do.
the excise tax or the state taxes. Screw you. You're not doing anything. You're not reducing anything.
As a matter of fact, if you get it through, I'm raising it.
That's it. We don't care.
Right?
We got a Senate that it said you can't audit us. Even though I work for you.
Oh,
you
yeah, that's Michael Rodriguez.
We don't want you to know.
Saying that we can't order.
So this is what we got for government. And whose fault is it? Ours. These people don't get we got to get somebody to run against these people. People that are willing to campaign for a year, commit themselves to start hitting the streets, going to every neighborhood association meeting, beginning to create networks, beginning to get a voter base, having a platform, having something to tell the people how we're going to take back our government.
That's right.
This horse shit
of crazy
retreads all the time, re-electing people all the time, and nothing gets done. And this is, like I said, let's see what happens. Okay, now he said she's going to be in office until, let's see how long she's in. Let's see how long it is before they call for a civil service test.
Right. No Jab FJB said again, Coogan makes Flanagan look like George Washington.
Yeah, no. I know. Yeah, no, you're right. Listen, I look back at why we called. It shows how, levels, how bad it's gotten. That we actually had this guy for 6 years. Will Flanagan, had a $8 million deficit. He had a couple of other. I mean, it pales by comparison to what this guy's done. It's like. It's like if I looked at that administration and compared it to this administration, never in a million years would I think we could get a recall through. But we had people turn out. And this is the problem. It gets back to the voters. I don't know who can't tell a lie. Paul Coogan, like if his mouth opens, it's either a
he's catching flies. He's got his mouth open, catching flies.
Right.
But we got to take back this city because I'm telling you, we got problems. I mean,
serious problems. Serious problems.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you all for watching, and remember, stay safe, stay angry, and hold your politicians accountable. And if you get a chance, give us a couple of stars. We love them. Have a great night. We'll see you on Friday.
Well, it is true. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Michael Rodrigues did say, that he said something about the audit that we couldn't audit. You know what I'm saying? So, which is that we can. So, but hey, but today I was just, coming out of Dunkin' Donuts, and I basically saw the news reporters down at the Fall River Police Station. So, so I decided to go live with them down there, but, and that too, it's, there's a lot of corruption going on everywhere, and and it's sad. But again, I want to thank Christopher Peckham and Cliff Ponte for filing that resolution to decide to investigate. You know what I'm saying? So, well, the only thing is, we'll see how the investigation comes out. That's all, and we'll see how it comes out. That's all we can. That's all we can do. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's sad. It is. It's horrible. But okay, this is Fall River Media News. I will be on Friday, and listening to CJ and Chip talk more about the issue. So I'll be on Friday night. So take care, everybody. Have a great night. It's a beautiful night out there. Go out and go take a walk. And stay safe, and hold your politicians accountable.